This grilled hatch chili burger is so beefy, creamy, and spicy. It is the perfect burger to make when you have hatch chilies. I'm gonna show you how to grill these over charcoal. It takes no time and they are packed with flavor. You need this. Let's make the burger sauce first. Now this is a hatch chili aioli and it's really, really simple. Now for this recipe, I'm just gonna use a mason jar because everything kind of fits in here easy. We're gonna start with 2 cloves of garlic grated. I've got 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, a little pinch of salt. We can add more salt later. We've got 1 egg at room temperature. Then we're gonna add 1 cup of neutral oil. I like to use avocado oil. It just has a nice clean flavor. We'll pour all of that in. Now if you don't have a stick blender and you wanna use a food processor, add all the ingredients except for the oil, whip that together, and then start to slowly stream the oil in. But for this recipe, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this right in the jar. You wanna drop it all the way to the bottom, and then we'll just pull slowly and start pulling up. So here we've made a really basic aioli recipe. That's all it takes. Now we're gonna be adding some hatch chilies. I like to add these after I make the aioli just to make sure that everything emulsifies well. I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup. Try not to spill everywhere. Now from here you can go ahead and just whip this in. So you can make this as chunky or smooth as you want to. I like to have a little bit of texture just so that you can see the hatch chilies. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little taste, see if I need to adjust the flavor. Woo, that's good. Mine doesn't need any more salt, but this would be the point where you'd want to adjust the seasoning. You can leave it in the mason jar. I'm gonna probably transfer mine to a squeeze bottle just for the burgers, so let's get working on those. I went ahead and formed some patties, however, I do need to season them. Use anything that you'd like. I'm gonna use some Canyon Crust, which is my favorite seasoning for burgers. It's gonna give it a nice coarse texture, lots of pepper, salt, garlic, and chilies. Just make sure that you season the burgers on all sides. Now for the burgers, anytime I'm grilling, I like to do at least 80-20, if not 75-25. Now on top of the burgers, since we're making a hatch chili burger, we're gonna need more diced hatch chilies. Now for these chilies, since they're gonna go on the burger, we want layers of flavor throughout everything. I do recommend salting them just a little bit and stirring them up. It does bring out a little bit more of the natural flavor. And of course we gotta have cheese. So it's gonna be burger, chilies, and cheese. I like to use a white cheese. The one I have today is Havarti. However, you could use white American, sharp white cheddar, even Monterey Jack or pepper jack. So we've got the burgers, the toppings. I've got to toast some buns and I'll meet you guys outside at the grill. All right, so I've got my Weber kettle heated up. We've got really hot fire here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the burgers on. Woo, that is hot. It's what you want. And we're just gonna sear these on each side for a few minutes. All right, now that I can see the liquid pooling on the top, it's probably time to give these a flip. So let's go ahead and flip with confidence. There we go, perfect. Nice char. Just make sure you have a good spatula and you scrape right underneath. Another reason why it's good to get a char on one side is because it helps to firm up the patties so that you can flip them a lot easier. All right, now that the burgers have seared on both sides, they're looking really great. We're gonna move them over to the cool side to add our toppings. Now from here, this is where you're gonna add the hatch chilies. I don't really have a specific amount that I add. I just add enough to completely cover the top. I guess you could say maybe 3 tablespoons if you really care. Now if you were gonna tempt the burgers, this is where you would wanna do it and kind of let them finish cooking here. However, mine are perfect, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the cheese. We'll just add this cheese on here, and then I'll close the lid for a minute, let that melt. I feel like I should just click some tongs for the sake of it. All right, I'm gonna get these burgers off and I'll meet you inside. All right, time to make a burger. Okay, so I've got some toasted buns here. Let's go ahead and add the hatch chili aioli on the top. And if you want to add some pickles or something, if you want an extra crunch, that's fine. But I like the simplicity of just the sauce plus the cheese and all the chilies coming through. Okay, then we've got our grilled burger with all the chilies. And guys, that's it for me. I mean, we've got crispy toasted bread, all of the delicious mayo, chilies, cheese coming through. These hatch chili burgers are probably like in my top 3 or 4 that I make at home. They're so good. I'm gonna need a moment. Here I am, I'm supposed to take a bite and tell you how it tastes, and I ate half the burger. That's just how good it is. It's just so perfect because in those first bites, all that creamy flavor from the aioli and the melted cheese comes right through. And you bite into that crunchy crust of the seared beef, and you get punched with those buttery, spicy hatch chilies. This is just, I'm so hungry talking about it. I really hope you guys make this burger, and please don't forget to like, subscribe. I've got plenty more recipes coming your way. We'll see you next time. Cheers. Mm-hmm.